Hello everyone, and welcome back to my F1 2020 My Team season for the Vietnam Grand Prix today, a brand new track, Hanoi Circuit. So let's just get into it and see what this new track is like first of all. And yeah, I've never driven on this circuit before, so it'll be interesting.
I've had a chat with Carl about the new parts and we're happy that they've been integrated into the car okay. With any luck, you'll be able to feel the improvement, so give them a try.
And it looks like we have some upgrades this weekend as well, which is always a positive. So let's hope that we can improve on what we did in Bahrain.
Let's get a few laps under our belt.
So yeah, let's get out of pit lane and have a look at this new circuit. I really don't know this circuit at all, so yeah, it's going to take a lot of learning throughout practice, and yeah, so I'll show my first ever lap around this circuit, and yeah, we'll get into it. So out of pit lane, very awkward corner on pit exit as it rejoins more or less onto the racing line, and you'll see that throughout the race where that could potentially cause some issues. Thankfully not for us, but yeah, along though after the first few corners this straight and into one of the most unique corners I'd say of this circuit, and this left-hander just goes on forever. It's sort of, I guess, the reverse of Shanghai's turn 1, and then this massive mega long straight, and this also is a kind of a weird shape. It's got as you can like through here, it's some very sort of weird corners in it, and the walls are just in weird places, but yeah, it's not quite straight, and that actually makes overtaking along there a little bit more difficult than say at Baku, which also has a mega long straight like that. But anyway, now we head into I guess the final section. I don't even know where the sector things are, but through here is basically that didn't happen. Yeah, through here is basically like Suzuka, but with barriers, so that's fun. But anyway, yeah, got through there okay on the second attempt. And yeah, we'll need to do a lot of practice to get up to speed on this circuit, and even so, I did lower the difficulty to 85 for this race. But anyway, practice done, we'll get into qualifying. So here we are for qualifying, so let's hope that we can get a clean lap in, and let's see what we can do. We actually already set a lap. This is our second lap in the session, so we'll see what we can do, if we can improve, but not finding an improvement so far through the first sector, I guess. But as we head into what is now the middle sector, we will try and improve through this long left-hander and onto the back straight, but still not really finding any time until we head into what well, it's not quite yet the final sector. I haven't quite studied where the timing loops are, but somewhere along that mini straight it seems. But anyway, now through the most difficult part of the track, which I never quite got used to all throughout the weekend. That's definitely where I was losing time, mostly compared to the AI, a little bit in the other end of the circuit as well. But anyway, we come around the final corner, miss the apex there, but we do improve on our time, and as we cross the line, we go P20. Fantastic. It's going to be a long race. Alright, so yeah, P20 for us. We outqualified Joe and Latifi, so we did outqualify our teammates, so we do have some form of pace. And yeah, George Russell and the two Frenchmen out. There's 3 Frenchmen now, isn't there?
The Formula One circus has arrived in Southeast Asia once more, as we usher in a new era and get ready to go racing here in Vietnam. A lap of Hanoi Circuit then, 3.4 miles around the Vietnamese capital. A number of the 23 corners take their inspiration from other great circuits, hopefully creating plenty of passing opportunities. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you know, you got your own race to run, I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Ricciardo, Sainz, Norris and Daniel Kvyat, Perez, Stroll, Kimi Raikkonen and Giovinazzi, Gasly, Magnussen, Esteban Ocon and Romain Grosjean, Russell, the scientist, Joe and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Alright, so here we are. Absolute silence from Jeff, so he is about as optimistic for this race as I am. So let's have a look at the strategy. We have a 2-stop or a 3-stop on offer, and the time isn't that different really between the 2 strategies. So it looks like the soft tyres are going to be very powerful around this circuit, but we'll see what everyone else does. I tried switching up the other one to softs to 2 mediums, but that just made it too slow. So that confirms what I just said, that the soft tyres are the way to go around this circuit. So let's get into it and see what we can do in this race. As we now go to 5 red lights. And away we go for the Vietnam Grand Prix, the first Vietnam Grand Prix. It's a great start versus Grosjean, and we're going to switch to the right hand side. Not really going to find an opportunity there because everyone's running 3 wide up there, but we go down the inside of Grosjean, Magnussen, and all the cars on the outside there as well. 3 wide up ahead as well. So cars moving absolutely everywhere at this point. Russell has made a great start, and now we're just trying to keep the car under control and not make contact with anyone, as we are just struggling to get through the first few corners, but we managed to survive those after going completely off circuit for a part of that, but we got away with it. But anyway, now onto the back straight for the first time, and we'll see if we can hold our position as we have a little look up the inside of the Williams of Russell, who, as I mentioned, had a great start to this race, gained a few spots, as Magnussen has a look around our outside. No changes of position there though. As we continue on though, Romain Grosjean is going to go flying past.
We've lost a position. That's us down a place.
And there's not really a lot we can do about that. Grosjean through, and we drop down. So yeah, no point fighting for positions with cars that are faster than us at this point. But yeah, if we have an opportunity, we will certainly take it. But you could see that there was a big gap in front of us, as Gasly has a huge snap of oversteer, and he smashes into the wall. That is a huge crash for Pierre Gasly, and he is actually out of the race from that.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
And he's parked off the road there, so he can't continue in this race.
Virtual safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until the green flag. VSC ending. Wait for green.
That brings out the virtual safety car, ends rather quickly, and we get back underway with a green flag, and we have a look down the inside of Kevin Magnussen into the first corner, side by side, and we get through on the Great Dane. So a nice timing of the safety car restart there, as we were able to get that position back. But yeah, that is also because Kevin Magnussen is our rival, so I'm going to emphasize beating him a little bit more.
We've got a lot of spare strategy. Use your overtake button.
than someone like GROSJEAN, who is not my rival, and I'm not really going to gain anything by beating him. But Magnussen was the rival that I chose at the start of this weekend. But anyway, as we continue on through the race, there is an engine failure right in front of us, and it is GROSJEAN, and he is out of the race with a mechanical failure for him.
Okay, clear.
So that is very unfortunate for the Frenchman, having a decent race so far, but yeah, it's gone wrong, and GROSJEAN is out of the race, and that is actually going to bring out the full safety car, so that really mixes things up. So I'm not really sure what to do now. A few cars have come into the pits under safety car there, but I was actually already past the pit entrance, I think, so I'm not sure if that was just good timing from them, but yeah. Are we going to say something?
Affirmative. Medium tyres at the next stop. Return the position immediately or we will be penalised. There is no overtaking during the safety car period.
Alright,
Give
so
that position back.
come on, Jack.
We are under safety car conditions and cannot overtake. Return the position.
Because the pit entry is so short here compared to the actual racetrack, though, that just happens sometimes, and it's really annoying. But no penalty. But I imagine it would be possible if we weren't so slow on the entry. But tyres on here, we're going into the medium tyres, because I wasn't sure if the softs, the original two sets of softs strategy would still work.
One more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
Seeing as we're pitting so early, but I figured since we have a free pit stop basically, I might as well take it, and we'll drop to the back, but I think it will be worth it in the end. But as you can see here, there are a bunch of penalties handed out during the safety car, or maybe the virtual safety car, for Lando Norris, Daniel Ricciardo, and Charles Leclerc. Drive-through penalties for all three of them for ignoring yellow flags, and a 5-second penalty for Vettel, Verstappen, Perez, and Kvyat. So very strange scenes at this Vietnam Grand Prix. That has had a significant impact on this race, and I would assume that is for overtaking cars into the pit lane, just like we almost had some trouble with. So as I said, that could cause some issues, and for the AI it does seem that it did do that. So anyway, back underway racing again, and we're immediately putting pressure on Latifi with fresh tyres. Big aggression over the curves. We're going to try and get up the inside here, down the inside of Latifi, and we get the move done in a very awkward place. I'm not sure that will be a regular overtaking opportunity, but with the fresh tyres we were able to stick the nose in and get through. So as we continue on though,
The gap to the car ahead is 2.0 seconds.
we've got a McLaren having a look down the inside. That is Lando Norris coming back into this race after his drive-through penalty, and we're not going to fight him. We do not have the pace of the McLarens. Equally, we do not have the pace of the Ferraris, and we will not be fighting with Leclerc, but we're actually really late on the brakes. Leclerc slowing down very early for that corner. We get the move done, and we move back ahead of Charles Leclerc, and he's got a dreadful exit, and we've actually got a bit of space behind us now. So yeah, crazy stuff there in that little sequence. But yeah, as we continue on, you can see there's a little bit of a train of cars in front of us, and we'll see if we can get involved in that. It's tail-ended by the two McLarens at the moment. They'll be trying to move their way forward, but first we've got bigger issues of Charles Leclerc getting past, as well as Daniel Ricciardo, and we're not going to fight them. We don't have the pace of those drivers, and we're on a different strategy to most in this race anyway, so we're probably not going to fight off too many cars. And yeah, we're back into 19th, but that won't be our true position until we make our last pit stop, and everyone else has. Then we'll really know where we are as the Alfa Romeo of Kimi Raikkonen exits pit lane. And you can see what I mean about it being kind of awkward looking, as they're actually faster coming out of the pit lane than what you are coming through the corner. But oh, we've got an issue here for Max Verstappen, one of the contenders in this race, and he is out with a mechanical failure and driving along the straight very, very slowly there. And yeah, Verstappen out of the Vietnam Grand Prix. We catch up to Kevin Magnussen, but he makes a pit stop.
Magnussen is stopping now.
And we don't actually get the chance to overtake him on track, but that's always a good sign of our pace, though, that we were catching him.
You're in 14th position.
And yeah, now we're running up a lot higher in this race, but yeah, it's very weird throughout this race about how our pace goes up and down quite significantly, and I think tyre wear has a lot to do with that.
The gap behind us is 2.3 seconds.
And obviously Magnussen must have been hitting some tyre wear there a lot more than we were at that point in the race. But anyway, now we try to fight away with George Russell, but he gets it through and makes his way past. So it's kind of crazy that sometimes we can be racing with the Haas's or the Renaults, or you know, we even came back at the Ferrari, but George Russell, we got nothing against him in the Williams. So kind of crazy how this race sort of goes backwards and forwards for us, and just how important new tyres are, which I suppose is why the three-stop strategy is viable, because new tyres are just so important as we getting severely held up by Kafir as he makes the overtake, and that proceeds to be quite slow on the compromised line through there. But yeah, if you look at the cars behind us now, we've got all sorts of trouble. We've got Lance Stroll going past, that's not Stroll, that is Sergio Perez, and Daniel Ricciardo again. So he's passed us, made a pit stop, and he's going to pass us again, and we're not even going to fight him just like before, because there's no point. We're all on different strategies, but yeah.
You have P15, P15. Ricardo is ahead of you. They're on fresh softs. Ocon is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 4.4 seconds.
But anyway, here comes Ocon, and he gives us a hit and spins around, and I don't really know what that was about. There's plenty of space on the inside there. Ocon just drives straight into us and pays the price for it, and ends up in the inside wall. He's not out of the race, but he will lose a bunch of time from that. And yeah, just a desperate move there from Ocon, it seems, and it didn't pay off for him. So continuing on in this race, have we got a car up the inside there? We do. But can we hold on? We do hold on. But yeah, that was Magnussen again. So that explains why we're fighting him so hard. But we managed to stay ahead of Magnussen for now as we continue on in this race, running deep into the hairpin, and yeah, we'll allow the Great Dane to overtake us. But we're going to have another look down the inside into the next corner of Magnussen, and we get the move done. And that is a really nice move on Magnussen, and I quite enjoyed that one. But again, we just get swamped in a straight line, so clearly straight line speed not the strength of our car as we go down the inside of the two cars there that just overtook us, as Magnussen though with the switchback, and he gets through, but into the same corner we're going to dive down the inside, get it stopped, get it turned, and we get the position back from Magnussen, and it looks like Russell grabbed in there as well. But enough of that, it's time for us to come in for our final stop of this race. And as I sort of mentioned, you can see he made a stop from right in front of us, and he managed to catch up to us before we come in for our final stop. So yeah, as I was saying, fresh tyres are worth absolutely everything around here, probably multiple seconds per lap, and it's quite extreme.
Exit now.
It seems. But anyway, we're going to run these tyres to the end, unless there is another virtual safety car.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
And we're actually on the soft tyres. I thought we were going on to the mediums to the end, but that explains why that last stint seemed so long. But soft tyres to the end, so going aggressive.
The car ahead is 5.9 seconds.
And we should be quite fast with just under 6 seconds to Ocon ahead of us. So let's see what we can do about closing that gap. I'm not sure if we'll quite have the pace of the Renaults, but we'll see. With fresh soft tyres, you never know. what you might be able to do.
P17 now, we have P17, Ocon ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 5.3 seconds. They're on old softs. They have some kind of mechanical problem. Magnussen is behind you. The gap behind us is 8.3 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. The pit window is open. Pit window currently open. 18 laps to go.
So 18 laps to go in this race as we continue on, and yeah, it seems that Esteban Ocon has some kind of issue, so we may have an opportunity to catch up to him.
Gap to the car in front is 4.2 seconds.
And we're catching
Ocon is stopping now.
we're catching him dramatically, but you just hear there that he's coming in for his final stop, and he'll come out behind us anyway. So we may or may not see him throughout the rest of this race. We'll see. As I said, the new tyres are worth
Blue
everything.
flag conditions. Create a gap and let the car behind through.
Yeah, new tyres are worth everything, so he may catch up to us as we need to let the two Mercedes past Hamilton pits anyway, quite frustratingly, and yeah, we let Bottas pass as well. So now the race is a lap shorter for us, which isn't too much of a problem. Anyway, continuing on, we need to let Hamilton past again, so thanks for that, Lewis, trying to ruin my race twice, but anyway, again, not going to be a problem. We just need to run the fastest race we can. Obviously we don't need to fight with cars on a different lap. But moving on again, we've got Russell making the move, big lock up into the braking zone, but he gets it done, gets a turn, and moves himself ahead of us into 15th position, quite a good position for him. Next up behind us is Esteban Ocon, who, like I mentioned, with the fresh tyres, has come back into it. We go down the inside and gets that position back, a little bit aggressive there. On Esteban Ocon, but we do manage to re-overtake him, just maybe a little too late on the brakes.
Gap to teammate ahead is 9.6 seconds.
More blue flags as we have to let the Ferrari past. I probably could have waited a bit longer, but I've actually been getting the blue flags for a while and I didn't want to get a penalty, so yeah, we let the Ferrari past and get back on our way. But that's let Ocon catch right up to us again, so we need to watch out for the Renault behind. But we think we'll be okay into this first part of the middle sector. But yeah, Ocon will have every chance to overtake us as we head on through the back straight, unless we can get DRS from the Ferrari. That would be our best chance of staying ahead of Ocon at this point, but he's already got the run, and I don't think that we're going to be able to hold on. And indeed, he does go straight past us. DRS opens for him and not for us, and Ocon gets through.
Our gap behind is 10.9 seconds. They're on old mediums. Your pit window is open. Pit window is open. 7 laps to go. Gap behind us is 6.3 seconds. 4 laps remaining. You're losing 2 seconds a lap to the car behind. 2 seconds.
So we move on now to what will be our final lap of the race. Magnussen is catching us very, very quickly as our tyres are completely dead. These soft tyres
2 laps of fuel left.
completely just dropping off the cliff, and yeah, Magnussen is fairly close to us, so we're going to need to watch out for him. But yeah, we'll just need to be careful on this final lap that we maintain some straight line speed along the 2 straights, and we should be fine. But yeah, Magnussen has been catching us very, very quickly, so yeah, we're going to need to just keep a close eye on him and where he is. But we've got a good gap at the moment to the Danish driver, so let's see if we hold that along the straight. Looks okay for now, and this is the last probably good overtaking opportunity, so from now on it's really only a mistake that could cost us this position on Magnussen. So here we go then for the last sector for the final time in this race, trying to sling the car through these very, very awkward corners for the final time this weekend. and we managed to survive that section of track. So a minor miracle there as we head into now the final two corners, and he's not going to have an opportunity now as we head through the final corner and along straight to the line, and we're going to finish the race.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
His 17th position. Gotta love being a backmarker. Driver of the day though. It's not all bad. And we beat Magnussen, so...
Plenty of action here in Hanoi. A memorable race and an impressive victory. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So it's Valtteri Bottas that takes the win in the very first Vietnam Grand Prix. Hamilton brings home second, so it's a Mercedes 1-2. Vettel up on the podium in third position.
So let's review the updated drivers' standings. Valtteri Bottas passes his rival to take over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to the scientists. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula One.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from Racing Point this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Alright, so that is the end of that. What to say about that race? A very, very difficult circuit, and as I mentioned various times throughout the race, it seemed like the tyres were everything. They were as important, if not more important, than the car you're driving. So I mean, obviously a better car will certainly help with the tyre wear, but yeah, it seemed like having new tyres at the right time was very important, and I think for the most part we handled that okay, and obviously all of our battles with Magnussen and basically holding him up while his tyres were better than ours helped us beat him today, and I'm very surprised that he didn't catch up to us right at the end, because he was gaining 2 or 3 seconds a lap towards the end of that race, but thankfully we managed to hold on and keep that position. So I'm not sure what happened to him on the last lap. Maybe he was pushing and ran out of fuel or ERS battery power to play with, and had just to cool it down for the final lap. I'm not sure, but he seemed to either lose a bit of pace or I got faster on the final lap, because it just wasn't as much of a threat as I thought he might be. But anyway, you can see all throughout this highlights reel there was a lot of battling with the Hasses, a bit of battling with GROSJEAN as well in the early stages, until he had a mechanical failure. So it seems like that's just where our car is at the moment, obviously right at the back of the field, as we get a nice fishtail on through the roundabout, as I'm going to start calling that corner. But yeah, I think Shanghai is next. I don't know when we go to Zandvoort, but I think that's fairly early in the season as well, so that's another new track that I'm going to have to learn as well. So yeah, a lot of learning to do in this game.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. We had a very aggressive start, and we managed to gain a few positions off the line. That really helped us. But really, I think pitting under the safety car helped us well to save a bit of time there. and then yeah, just defending as much as we could.
Things were close between you and your rival, but it looks like you're coming up top, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was a very good race today with Magnussen. We had a lot of on-track battles, and yeah, it was nice to come out on top.
You lost to your teammate today. Was it just not your day?
Like I've mentioned in the past, there's a reason that we hired Guan Yu Zhou. He is a very, very fast driver, so it's great to see him doing as well as we hoped he would.
You had a close battle today, didn't you?
Yeah, we had a very close battle with Magnussen, and yeah, it was backwards and forwards quite a few times, and a lot of fun.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Claire, asking me the same question over a couple of times there. But anyway, we take the lead of our rivalry with Magnussen. He did hold the lead after qualifying. But anyway, looking at Acclaim now, we get about halfway through level 4, but not quite enough to get another sponsor on the car, so we'll probably get that after China. So that has to wait a little bit longer, but that's fine, that's no big deal. We actually have to pay for some repairs. I did maybe damage the car a little bit, but it's fine, don't worry about that. So now we have a look at what we can do between now and the next race. That is a nice high resolution picture in the background of our team logo. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that, just didn't load in properly, I'm not sure. But anyway, let's see what there is to do for the time being. So you can see there what we have planned for those few events. Between the few events, we've got an invitational event to do as well. But looking at R&D, we actually can't really afford anything at the moment. So we're going to just have to sit on our resource points and grab some upgrades later on. So we've also already got quite a few upgrades coming anyway, so it's no big deal. There's still plenty of development in the works. But anyway, the invitational event was relatively easy, and we did manage to complete that. Yeah, with relative ease, and we actually get fairly big rewards for the invitational event. So and it's really cool to see them implemented in this way into the my team mode, and they are definitely worth doing because $150,000 and 1,000 acclaim is yeah, something you're not going to want to turn down. But we grab a few driver perks as well. The power mapping will reduce our the wear on the durability department, so that's almost like a upgrade in that department, I suppose. And there is also development feedback will generate a few extra resource points, so that's always helpful as well. And then the one at the top, social media team, and that will boost our acclaim. So I thought I'd just grab all those while we can afford it, and they're not really that expensive compared to upgrading facilities, so it's not going to hold us back too much in terms of spending money. But anyway, that is it for this episode, so I will say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.